Hey, greetings everybody. Gleekon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. So we last did a mega episode, a pretty neat story called Unbroken, that talked about basically where the broken race came from and also how shamanism was embraced by the Draenei. So now we're moving into another time period here, still in the middle of the Second and Third Wars. We're now 10 years after the Dark Portal, so a couple years have passed since Beyond the Dark Portal. And so, yeah, stay a while and listen to this one. It's called the Battle of Batol, and I believe this is going to be kind of, in a nutshell, everything that happens in the Day of the Dragon novel. But we're going to do a few episodes of Chronicles just to make sure that everything's kind of got a bow on it. But before we move forward in time, so I'd say, we've got about 4 or 5 episodes, and then we'll do the whole Day of the Dragon novel. During the Second War, the Red Dragon Corielstrasz was deeply concerned when Alexstrasza disappeared. He was the Dragon Aspect's consort and closest confidant, and he vowed to do whatever he could to find her. When he finally discovered that she was being held captive by the Dragon Maw, he found that he was utterly helpless. The Dragon Maw had enslaved Alexstrasza with the Demon Soul, an artifact that could destroy any dragon. Corielstrasz could not free her. He pleaded for help from the Dragon Aspects Ysera, Nosdormu, and Malygos, but they were wary of intervening. Like Corielstrasz, they feared that the orcs would use the Demon Soul to destroy them or even Alexstrasza. Soon it became clear that Deathwing planned to steal some of the Red Dragonflight's unhatched eggs for himself, and Corielstrasz nearly fell to despair. After Ronan stumbled upon the Dragon Maw, the Red Dragon found hope once again. Taking on the form of a powerful high elf mage named Krasis, the dragon promised the human all the aid he could muster to free the Red Dragonflight. Ronan had been stunned to find that an orc clan still had this much power after the Second War, and he was determined to break its strength. He rallied a small group of friends, including the high elf ranger Varisa Windrunner and the dwarf griffin rider Falstad Wildhammer, and rushed to Batol to free the Red Dragons. When they arrived, the battle was already underway. The moment the Dragon Maw had left Batol and set out for Dun Algaz, Deathwing attacked and slaughtered countless orcs. He had no desire to keep them or the adult dragons alive. Only the Red Dragonflight's eggs were of use to him. Unfortunately for Deathwing, his brazen assault had unintended consequences. As the battle unfolded, Alexstrasza broke free of her chains. Before Necros could kill her with the Demon Soul, she devoured him whole, taking vengeance for the horrors inflicted upon her. Then she turned her wrath upon Deathwing, and she was not alone. Ysera, Nosdormu, and Malygos soon joined her in the fight against Deathwing. Though they had rebuffed Corielstraza's calls to help Alexstrasza, the Dragon Aspects had not ignored him. They had decided to keep a close watch on Batol in case an opening presented itself. Deathwing's attack against the orcs gave them one. As the 5 Dragon Aspects grappled in the sky, Ronan and his mortal allies focused their attention on the orcs and the Demon Soul. Ronan found a flaw in the ancient artifact and destroyed it. In that moment, the power trapped within the relic escaped, returning to the Dragon Aspects. Deathwing could not stand against the newly empowered dragons. He suffered terrible wounds and was forced to flee. He would not be seen again for many years to come. I wonder if that's until Cataclysm. The Red Dragonflight was free again. Many of the Dragon Maw orcs had died in the battle, and the terrified survivors had scattered into the wilds. They would remain a threat on Azeroth, but they would never truly regain their former power. When Deathwing retreated, Lord Davil Prester suddenly vanished from Lordaeron's royal court. His daughter Onyxia was left behind to carry on his work, and she relished it. The relationships between Lordaeron and other Alliance nations were continuing to deteriorate. Onyxia decided to spread her influence to the southern kingdom of Stormwind. She took on the guise of a noblewoman named Katrana Prester and infiltrated Stormwind's royal court. Lady Prester worked to tangle up the city's rebuilding efforts, and she meddled in local politics to keep the kingdom isolated from Lordaeron and the Northlands. And that would, I guess, work, because, ultimately Lordaeron is not an alliance of Stormwind. Deathwing's son Nefarian chose to work from the shadows. He contacted the so-called True Horde in Blackrock Mountain, manipulating the orcs into allowing the Black Dragonflight to use the location as their new base. Nefarian established a hidden laboratory there, hoping to achieve his father's dream of rebuilding the Black Dragonflight. To that end, he conducted grotesque experiments with the blood of different dragonflights, much of which he harvested from living dragons. So that's cool. We've actually got a lot of things set up. We've got really the events of the main of that novel, I'm guessing, that we're going to get to cover soon. But we also have the beginning of the machinations of why Lordaeron and Stormwind are separated. And then we also have what's happening in Blackrock Mountain. Why is that a home to the Black Dragons? And we also have more kind of dealings with Onyxia and Nefarian, which is kind of cool. And we have this really cool artwork here of Alexstrasza breaking free of her bonds and unleashing her vengeance on the orc Necros Skull Crusher. I also like how you have in the background Deathwing fighting some of the other, it looks like maybe Nosdormu and Malagos even further in the back. There's Necros. She's got that pendant or whatever. That's pretty cool. That's just a straight up cool picture. Whoever the artist is, you can kind of see their signature there. They are a good artist. This is a cool picture. And that's something that that also in Cataclysm, some of the dungeons are covered there too. So pretty neat stuff. And yeah, so we'll do a few more episodes and then we'll read probably all of those events in Day of the Dragon. All right, cool. We got this episode in the pipe 5x5. I thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Lore of Warcraft.